All right, Stephen. If the guys join and you want to get officially underway, will you just gooi a quick hello so that we can get the show going?
Sorry.
Yeah, where's that stream? Alright, so look at the time. I must start this race. Let's go back to start quickly. No.
Okay, we've got one person viewing. That was possibly
Right,
Martin.
how do I start the race without actually getting into it?
It's just started normally and then
an exit, ne?
yeah, just then they can exit the race and it resets.
Right, cool.
And then qualifying's on.
Just grab a group 4 quickly and then
you can't start the race from the settings above.
Yeah, go out the you don't have to spectate, just go out and go to race settings and start race.
Race start, there we go. Alright, cool.
I thought you were a pro, yeah, man.
It's the first time I've actually started a race without being in it, so sorry about that.
He's usually behind the wheel.
There you go.
That's also true. Oh, Quintus, how's it going? Welcome to our stream.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the second round of the GTSSA Women's League race.
Unfortunately, we've got a couple ladies missing tonight due to unforeseen circumstances and a few other connection issues, but we are going ahead with the race. We've got 4 of the ladies in at the moment. We're just doing a quick test start and straight after that going into qualifying. It looks like no auto drive issues with the 4 that we have got. Stagnator, welcome to the commentary. No problem, you're hard to get rid of. Definitely, we've got 2 of the quickest ladies, or all 4 are quick, but on our previous races, points finishers, we've got Annika, AR Outlaw, 66. She's currently leading. She won the first round and she was 2020 end of season champion as well. Then we've also, this is her on screen in the BMW. We've got MBLB 011, that's Margot. I think they just finished the test start, so we're going to get into qualifying now.
Get into quali immediately, yeah, so I'm going to just...
Then while you're doing that, we've got Fruity Spine 6, that's Renelle. She's also always up there fighting. And then last but not least, C8 Brits Finnick, Mrs. Finnick, I mean. That's winner from the first, I think, 3 rounds that we did, which were demonstration rounds last year, and I think she came 2nd or 3rd in the first race. So yeah, we should see quite a fight, especially between Annika AR Outlaw and Mrs. Finnick. So we normally run 15-minute qualifyings for the ladies, but we're doing 10, Fluffy.
10, sorry, okay.
Yeah. Just because we had a few issues and we changed hosts, we're running a bit late tonight, so we gave them 10 minutes warm-up and we chopped 5 minutes off qualifying. We've got a nice drift going there by Renelle. I think with the tyre wear tonight. She might burn her tyres if she does every lap like that, but it's great fun to watch. The eight of you there in the chat, feel free to drop us some comments. Also get your wife's girlfriends involved. We normally have 9 or 10 ladies racing, so let's get it to 15 for the next race and fill up a pool.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Margot's driving in the McLaren GR4, one of the better looking cars in the game, in my opinion. We said earlier, Annika's in the BM and Mrs. Fanatics in the Jag, which will have a little bit of top end performance on the BMW, but the BMW is a very good all-rounder. Then our fruity drift queen.
I can tell you this Merc is gonna be absolutely awesome when it comes to saving fuel and managing tire wear. It's always a favorite where strategy comes into play.
Definitely, and give us a rundown on what you think the strategies will be tonight. The tire wear, the fuel, what different options do they have?
Well, they need to use soft tires and medium tires. Looking at the time drop as the tires wear down, it'll be a smart move to do as many of the laps on softs as possible. Obviously, being 18 laps, if you can squeeze, say, 8 laps from a set of softs, you can do a soft medium and do 2 laps on mediums and 8 laps on soft, 8 laps on softs.
Just to jump in there, sorry, it's soft or medium, they don't have to use both.
Oh, they don't have to use both? No. Okay, well then it's quite simple. If you can maintain pace on softs, it's a no-brainer. You do 2 stints on softs, push it to the end of the race.
What do you think about one stop on mediums with the tyre wear?
Well, if you can make the fuel stretch 18 laps, you might get the mediums to the end, but you're going to have to be very careful on how you handle the tires. That'll be a very, very risky strategy.
Yeah, a one stop on mediums.
A one stop on mediums. No, if you look at it, if you're going to stop, if you're going to pit at all, then it's no use using mediums at all. You're going to lose too much time, unfortunately. So if you're going to one stop, I'll rather just go with a soft strategy straight out.
I think that's if they can get the tires to last 8 or 9 laps.
Yeah, see, that's sort of.
You can see Mrs. Fanatics been smart using Annika for the slipstream there.
Well, see, the thing is, I don't think even if they try a no-stopper, I don't think the fuel's going to last in the full 18 laps. So
no, I did a test and it lasted about 12.
And you said you had a second in entire life, right? In lap time on the tire life.
On the softs.
Yeah, if they can manage the same, then I would suggest a soft strategy. If tire wear is a bit on a rough, like on the Jag, I know the tire wear is quite rough. It is a stable car, so as the tire wear down, it'll just pick up more and more understeer. Where if you look at the McLaren, that's going to pick up more and more oversteer. So it all depends on preference here, but my personal choice would be soft, and do a nine lap stint.
So is the rumor I heard true that Mrs. Fluffy Butt might be joining next race? Can we get some commitment there?
If I can get her ready, I'll push her to actually join that race. I'll confirm with her, and then if she's committed, then we'll definitely put in a application.
There we go. I don't think you'll get away with telling us she's racing and having you behind the wheel, because we might notice that driving style of yours.
No, I'm not. No, she'll be driving, I promise you. Good news, guys. I just received a friend request from one more lady, so hopefully we'll push it up to 5. Unfortunately, she's a bit late, but she can get a flyer in if she joins now. She can get 1 lap in before the race actually starts. So,
what was the PSN there?
Let me have a quick look. I did it so quickly I didn't take note.
Just make sure it's not one of a random Spanish person or something.
No. It's where it's not telling me now. Quickly see if I can see it on my friend list here. She should join any minute.
See, with 7.5 minutes gone, Annika's jumped into the pits for some fresh tyres. She's going to try and get a fly in before the end. I think it'll be just enough time. 1 minute 40 laps would get her across the line with about 5 seconds to spare on that flying lap, so she's timed it very well. Currently half a second behind Mrs. Finnick. Fruity Spine's a second further back, and Margot 2.5 seconds off. She's getting used to the car. She wasn't missed the part of the entry where we said only FF cars, so I'm not sure if she might have actually practiced for this in the Audi. She's definitely normally fairly quick.
Alright, so the PSN that sent me the friend request is Mrs. M&M.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely, that's our sponsor, Denise, who is from Track Art, of her and her husband sponsoring us for the season. So we can just watch
stuff.
Possibly.
So just a question, if she joins now, are we going to give her a minute or 2 for quali, or are we going to set the grid by the host? What do we do? I don't know how do we handle the situation now?
I think let's let her get into the lobby and then maybe give her one out lap and a flying lap.
Okay, no problem.
See, Annika pushing a little bit too hard in the last turn there, trying to get the best out of her tyres. Going back to the pits.
Are we going to wait for Mrs. M&M to enter the lobby, or are we going to start the race, boys?
Just wait a second for her. She sent a friend request, so let's just see if she gets in.
Okay.
Maybe just send a message on the chat. We can maybe tell these four just to park so long. Sorry, with having one extra driver trying to get in, it's worth waiting just to give her that chance. Rather, Mr. Josh Snell, welcome to the stream. I know this is your absolute favorite track in the world, judging by your comment on the chat, which I can't mention.
This one can still go. It is the other one that he's not so happy with.
Okay, Mrs. Vinnig has pulled over. MBLB still going. There's Mrs. Eminem now, so we'll give her a lap. I'll just send a message to her if she'll have one lap.
Just put out lap and one complete lap, so she can set a time. While we're waiting, let's take a look at some of these liveries. Margot's gone into the pits. Dearvolt, are you in the chat still?
I'm still here.
Very nice Jaguar there. Was that yourself or Annalise who did the livery on it?
No, I did that one first.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Steven.
Yeah.
Are they gonna upgrade sometime to different classes than Group 3 and 4?
Yeah, they
some
did
interesting road cars or something else at some point.
Definitely. The first race of the season was GR3. This is obviously GR4, and then the last race of last season, for example, was GR1 cars at Le Mans. So originally, when we did the season last season, they all did a poll, and GR3, 4 was the vote, but then after a couple of races they asked for some differences, so we threw in the GR1, and this season I think there might just be a surprise road car, maybe something like a GR2. I don't think the SF's needed because they were, some of these ladies, Mrs. M&M, I know, Annika, I think Fruity Spine as well, are all racing in the GTSSA Open Season 1. I'm not sure.
Fruity Spine has left the room. Is that out of... I hope she's coming back. I hope she's coming back.
Yeah, just the fun cars. There's your BMW M3 is great to drive. The 240Z, KTM Crossbow, the other Toyota, that Sport. I can't remember its name offhand. The one we used for seeding. Yeah, correct. Great fun to drive.
Guys, can somebody ask
Renelle
if she's coming back?
Yes, she is. I've just asked on WhatsApp. I think Mrs. Eminem went out on medium, so she is pitted and put softs on, so she's going to start her flying lap after this. I think that's going to put Fruity to the
at the back.
Yeah, with the disconnect.
Unfortunately, but we can't postpone the start any further. So as soon as Mrs. M&M has done her flying lap, we'll start the race.
Yeah. I see. Definitely. We basically, just to give guys a rundown while we're watching M&M start her flying lap, this season is based on 9 races, with 2 throwaway races because of things like ESCOM and other internet connection issues. So they've all got 2 throwaway races, so the top 7 results will count. So as admin, I'm going to let slip that there probably is going to be a surprise race, late reveal, just to throw a spanner in the works for some of them, but we are going to be shaking it up between car classes, and most of the races will have the 1 or 2 weeks time for them to practice, but there will be at least one surprise race in there.
It's Mrs. M&M will be using the Megan Trophy.
One of my favorite cars in this game.
It's a very good handling car. Very good, nice handling car. It just lacks a little bit of top end, which might bite her in this race.
Yeah.
But the midsection, she should be flying.
Definitely. That's the one thing about this track, is it's got lots of long straights, but with the long corners, if you have a good handling car, you can actually get a much better exit and make up the difference down the straight.
No, definitely.
I still, overall,
Right.
looks like we're about ready to get going.
We're about ready to get going, yeah. Wait for it to complete the lap.
Margot's in the pits, so I think it's on time.
Okay, everybody's on track. We can start the race. All right, let's go.
Good.
Here we go, guys.
Again, sorry for the bit of a delay, guys, but much better to have 5 ladies racing than 4.
Yeah, I apologize for my silence. I'm concentrating on getting the race underway without making mistakes. So now I can concentrate on what's actually happening in the race. Thanks for the patience, guys.
Give us a quick thought, you two. Who's going to take this?
Oh, I can't even say. I don't even know. You've got such a variety of cars here. You've got the McLaren, which is also a good handler, but I think it's going to eat the rear tires quite quickly. Same with the Gran. If they can control the rear end sliding around, those two will be strong. The Jag is a very solid, good car.
Mrs. M making a little bit of a jump there.
She'll get a little bit of a penalty there. Hopefully she can catch up quite quickly.
Getting used to the grid start. What I did notice when I was scrolling there as well, is she's starting on the medium tyres.
Okay, so she's going for a unconventional strategy.
Slightly slower at the start, and then towards the end of the stint, hopefully she'll have the advantage when the others are all on worn tyres.
Yes.
It'll be quite interesting to see how it plays out. Oh, I see Fruity Spine's disconnected.
Oh, that's a pity. Such a pity. Oh, Mrs. Vinnig running a little bit deep there into the hairpin, but she's got a decent gap, 1.5 seconds to AR Outlaw, which is closely followed by MBLB. There's Mrs. M coming up the rear, and she's got 6 seconds to catch. Whoa. Oh, just was the McLaren. A great recovery there.
Definitely, she only lost 2 seconds. I thought she was going into the shadow realm for sure. Definitely, Annika closing the gap by about 0.2 of a second on the first turn, and then losing it back through the chicane. So Mrs. Fanatics.
I think it's going to be a bit of a seesaw between the two, because the Jag is got the top end on the straight, where the Beamer's got the handling in the corners. So it's going to be a bit of a zigzag, I think. But Mrs. Finach gained about half a second through the hairpin. She's pulling out to 2.3 second gap now. And MBLB is another 6.9 seconds behind Mrs. Finach in first place, and fourth is Mrs. M&M with a 9 seconds deficit. So she's got some work to do until those mediums get up to temperature.
Definitely, with that jump start costing about 4 seconds out of that total time.
Yeah, it's costly mistakes. Hopefully she can get back with the bunch when the mediums get into their own.
Definitely, when I did testing to get the settings for this, up until about lap 6 or 7, the pace was similar, but then it did drop off trying to get to lap 9, 10. It was quite a dramatic drop off, probably because you got the 2 very long right hand corners, the last turn and the first turn, and then the quadruple left-hander that Mrs. Finnick's coming up to now, so the fronts do take a big pounding here.
Well, surprisingly, the car that I thought would be the best on tyre wear is actually quite heavy, and that's the Beamer at the moment. The Jag is doing very well. It's got about the same wear rate as the mediums at the moment, which is very surprising. So Mrs. Finach is managing her strategy very well.
I might be a bit biased here, but yeah, she looks very well off the tires.
I think some extra training's gone in there, do you not? Smooth as fast. Gap currently sitting at 3.2 seconds first to second, then 6 seconds back to Margot. Another 2.8, the gap between Margot and Mrs. M&M staying fairly constant at the moment. Last lap round.
Sorry, Mr. Barry, you can carry on there. Apologize for interrupting you.
I was just going to say the last lap round, there's only 2 tenths between them. We can see AR Outlaws did a 40.4 on the last lap, and Mrs. Finnick did a 40.5. Very quick first lap, 38.8 for Mrs. Finnick in that Jag. So obviously getting out front, getting the gap, and now it's staying fairly constant.
Yeah, Mrs. M&M is just hanging on to MBLB at about 3 seconds gap, so she is maintaining that. She's not losing any more time. Unfortunately, she's losing quite a bit of time to Mrs. Finach, which is running a very odd pace in front.
Definitely. I think Mrs. Finnick's running away from quite a few of them. She's taken another half a second out of Annika. We'll see the lap times when they come around this time, but also jumping on late and only having 2 laps would be a bit of an issue there. So
well, she's saving quite a bit of fuel. She's got the best fuel wear rate at the moment, and then the top 3 are very, very similar on fuel wear. So it's definitely going to help Mrs. M&M in the pit stop as well.
Yeah, looking at the tyres between the softs on Mrs. Finnick and Mrs. M&M, you can see the mediums are definitely holding on longer, but Mrs. Finnick's doing a great job of looking after those compared to Annika at the moment, who's, like you said just now, the BM seems to have the worst wear on the fronts at the moment. I'm wondering if the BMW AR Outlaws might even have to go for a 2-stop, just looking at the tyre wear and the pace. Although her last 3 laps have been fairly similar, 40.7, 40.4, 40.6. We'll see what she comes across the line with now, 40.5. So even though the tyre wear is dropping off a bit, she is keeping her pace at the moment, possibly with the fuel going down and the car getting lighter. But once that front starts sliding, it's a downhill slope, because then you wear your tyres even quicker.
She's pushing quite hard, and it's scrubbing quite a bit in the front, and that's why she's eating the fronts up a little bit. So, but then again, if the car's lighter, they might just last a little bit longer as well.
Looking back at
I think the Beamer gets a bit snappy if you run a rear bias. It does tend to snap oversteer on you under hard braking. You can manage it by braking at 80%, but she's definitely using a lot of front tires there. There we go, I can see it, yeah. And the thing is, it tends to get worse as the tires wear down. It's you're digging a hole for yourself, and it tends just to go deeper and deeper and deeper once it starts wearing those tires down. So yeah, she's in a bit of a pickle, in my opinion, compared to the rest of the guys. They are screaming, those front tires.
I see
Gap 7.6 seconds from first to second.
Yeah, it actually dropped a little bit there. It was over 8 just now. Mrs. Eminem's sitting about 3 seconds back on Margot, 2.6, but her tyres are still looking fresh, and she's got by far the most fuel left of the other cars.
Well, looking at the laps and the fuel she's got left, she can actually go for a no-stopper here, guys. Her tyres are holding up very nicely. She's actually saving quite a bit of fuel. So if she can make it to lap 9 and still half a tank left, she can go without stopping here. Although I think the car's gonna... not bad at all. I expected those rears to be in a bit of a state, but they are holding up very, very well at the moment on that McLaren, which is impressive. Great driving from MBLB there.
Definitely. I was thinking just now, looking at AR Outlaw's fuel and tyres, that she might actually try a 2-stop, but obviously we're on lap 8 now, so I see that being fairly unlikely. But she is hanging in there with those tyres dropping off. We can see her on her last lap, she did a 41.8 and the previous 42.7, which were first 2 laps out of the 140s, and this lap and the next lap are going to be the 2 hardest, where she's going to really start struggling with tyre wear, her and all the other 2 soft runners.
Mrs. Vinnig is taken into class at the moment, guys. She's running constant 39s. She got into a 140.3s on lap 6, and the last lap was a 41.6. So she's feeling the tyres, but she's managing them very well. She is flying.
Definitely, that Jag's looking very solid online on hitting the apexes. Basically, she just has to manage us from here out. Depending
she's
on
not taking mistakes. She keeps every apex, every brake marker. She's doing very well. Our Outlaw is really struggling on those front tires now.
See the front right's halfway worn, but this last lap, I'm pretty sure she'll pit on lap 9. It's going to be tricky for her.
Mrs. MBLB is starting to struggle with this McLaren. She's sliding this car all over the place. She just went into a 4-wheel drift going out of the last corner, so she's starting to slide that McLaren around quite a bit.
I'm sure she'll tell us that was deliberate though. Just throwing some style points in there.
There you go, some drift points.
Unfortunately, we lost Fruity Spine at the start of the race. She was giving us some great drifts early on. Just to remind everyone that Track Art and TGN Racing Simulators are our sponsors for the season, for the ladies race and the GTSSA Open Series, so big ups to them. Always great to have companies come on board, Mrs. Eminem being Mrs. Track Art.
Unfortunately, she won't make it to the end on fuel, guys. She's now on lap 9 and she's past the halfway mark, so she's going to have to pit unless she goes into serious fuel saving mode now. The tyres are also starting to wear down now quite a bit. As they wear down, they obviously lose a bit of grip and they start sliding around, which basically worsens the situation.
I expect Mrs. Spinner to come into the pits on cue.
Great stuff.
I'm not sure what the rest will do. If I was Mrs. Eminem, if she is going to pit, I would do a couple more laps just to get back some time on the pit stop. The amount of fuel,
guys, they're exactly the same. 27 litres left when they got into the pits between her and our Outlaw. It's incredible.
Margot goes in, but Mrs. Eminem keeps going. Well, she's come out behind Mrs. Vinnig, so that's not going to help too much with regards to the race lead, but she is ahead of AR Outlaw by 2 seconds. She'll be under pressure for a little bit with the tyre wear. I see she's been very constant around the high 41s and low 42s most of the race so far.
see how she performs in the last couple of laps. So these Oaks with the undercut, he's gonna pull a gap on her. He's gonna reel her in quite quickly.
What might be a good strategy
that's
for
gonna
sorry, you go first.
All right, yeah. So like I said, they're gonna reel it in real quick, and so she'll probably be on fresh tires for the last couple of laps, and that might just help her in making some of the time back that she lost. Well, she'll be super quick when that Renault is low on fuel. Definitely. On fresh tires.
Possibly a good idea is if she does have to stop, which it looks like she does, then pop on a set of soft tires rather than mediums.
Definitely, yeah.
Her stop will be a lot quicker than all the others.
If I was her, I'd keep going a couple more laps, but it looks like she's going in.
Guys. See what she does.
Fuel-wise, she's almost got enough to make it to the end, so she shouldn't have to put much in at all. I have a feeling she's going to come out ahead of Margot, but she was a second behind. Let's see if she made up the time in the pits. She has switched to the soft tires.
She made up a position. Great stuff. It's,
by doing the shorter fuel, and she's staying out. Was the second behind. She's now 4.6 ahead.
Yeah, she left Frog MLB by 6 seconds. Yeah, it's great stuff. Good work done there.
So just to give a rundown, we've got Mrs. Finnick leading at the moment by 11 seconds, driving very consistently and smoothly. Annika AR Outlaw 66 running second place, also with a similar gap, 12 seconds back to Mrs. Eminem, and then another 4.6 back to MBLB 011. We should probably not see too much change, but with this track and the first chicane being very tricky, if you hit it wrong it can throw you into a spin. Anything's possible, so nothing's written in stone yet.
Mrs. Finnick should be putting up a fastest lap. There you go, 38.632.
Yeah, I was also watching for that.
Killing it out there.
Let's see how AR Outlaw did on her first flying lap. 39.1, also her fastest lap of the race, only half a second slower than the Jag.
That Beamer should be a little bit kind on the tires with a lighter fuel, but again it's going to be negated by the other cars running lighter as well. So
correct, they all should be fueled till the end now, so their levels should be fairly similar. Just looking, Mrs. Eminem has a little bit less than AR Outlaw and Mrs. Finnick, but we saw she made her fuel last a bit longer, so that should she should hopefully have enough to make it to the end.
Well, looking at the fuel, guys, everybody except Mrs. M&M slightly over the fuel their cars. So
the pit strategists need a talking to.
There you go.
Had a Ferrari pit stop.
So that's why Mrs. M&M gained 6 seconds in the pits.
Yeah. And she had more fuel going in. To the 13 people in the chat, hope you've already hit subscribe on our channel. If you haven't, go do it straight after the race. That way you won't miss any future races. Also, jump on Facebook, give TGN Racing Simulators and Track Art one word like on their Facebook pages to show our support, for their support.
And get more girls to join.
Definitely. So also, yeah, go grab your wife, grab your girlfriend.
Sunday's Valentine's Day, guys. So yeah, what better romantic gift than a racing rig for your girlfriend?
Yeah, so,
there you go.
Stain said he's going to pay.
Good night, gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Well, we can bring Dierwold in here because he's had experience with this. What did your wife get for Christmas this year, Dierwold?
Yeah, you know very well.
Her own G29.
Now, be honest here, Dierwold. It's not a question because you wanted to buy it. She actually made you buy it.
No, she actually didn't know. It was a big surprise.
That's great. Just look. Appeared.
I bought my wife a PlayStation 4 a couple of years back for Christmas. It's just unfortunate it had my name engraved on it, you know, can't help it.
But yeah, the PS4 was a must. There was no way we could have shared.
Yeah, especially seeing as how both of you are doing the GTSSA Open League.
Yep.
I heard a rumor she's quicker than you though.
In the SF, I don't know why, but I can't drive it on the wheel. She's quicker on the wheel with that SF than me.
Okay, that's super formula. But Josh Snell's just commenting that on the chat, so you can give him a hard time for telling all your secrets. Just looking at the front, we've got a 14.5 second gap for Mrs. Finnick, controlling it very nicely at the front. She's already dropped into the 140s on the last lap, but that's still quicker than most of the rest are also similar. Something I think AR Outlaws Annika had a slight issue because she did a 43 last lap round, possibly just a little run wide or something. 12 seconds back to Mrs. Eminem. Did her best lap of the race last lap round 140.6. So she's going quick all the time. It's just unfortunate she couldn't get on earlier to get a bit more of a warm-up in. And then Margot 8 seconds further back, drifting that McLaren through the corner. It's only 4 laps left. I see the gaps come down by another second that lap to Mrs. Eminem, running a similar pace last time around though. So with only 4 laps, even if there was a bit of a pace difference, it would be really hard to catch up. She must just focus on staying smooth and getting it to the line. Margot also doing one of her quickest laps of the race last time around, only 2/10 off her best lap. She's on a controller. I think the other 3 are all on wheels at the moment. So that affects your tyre wear slightly, but doing a great job. If anyone wants to sponsor Margot a rig and a wheel, I'm sure she would be quite appreciative.
Looking at the fuel rate, guys, Mrs. Finnick has got just over a quarter tank left. It's more than enough for the remaining laps. Then we have AR Outlaw, which has got the least amount of fuel. No, I'm lying. Sorry, yeah, our Outlaw is about exactly the same to what Mrs. Finnick is.
Yeah, and there was a big
Mrs.
difference.
M&M has got the least amount of fuel. She's exactly on a quarter tank now. And then we have MBLM, which is, we've got the most fuel left, which is halfway between quarter and half. So she's got, she had a little bit of an overfill at the pit stops. But Mrs. Finnick is pulling out 2 seconds a lap from AR Outlaw at the moment. It's now at 17.3 seconds. So she is on a mission here tonight, guys.
Mrs. Finnick's just dropping back into the 139s last lap round, so tyre wear's getting there, but with the low fuel she seems to be managing it better than the first stint, hanging on very nicely.
And guys, big heads up to Mrs. Finach. She's doing this without any driver aids. She's got no traction control, stability management or anything on. She's doing it all herself, which is brilliant. The gap between AR Outlaw and Mrs. M&M is staying consistent at 11 seconds. They are running very similar race pace. And MBLB has gained a little bit of time on Mrs. M&M, but it's staying around the 9-10 second mark. So we're about to start our last final lap, guys. No, sorry, I apologize. We just started the penultimate round.
Yeah.
Apologize for that. I was thought we were on the other part of the track. Apologize for that.
Mrs. Finnick definitely didn't like not winning the first round of the season, because she's obviously come back very strong here. Car choice, lots of practice, I'm guessing. Absolutely dominating tonight though. So maybe GL4 is her class. I know certain cars suits some people better, but unstoppable form at the moment. So we'll have to see what happens in the next race.
Yeah, she did like that Audi, so it was banned, but check it out as well.
Yeah, I know both of the first and second, they always pick the Audi TT front-wheel drive cars for the GL4 races. So following the GTSSA Open, we banned them for this race, but we might have a front-wheel drive only race later on as well. I know Mrs. M&M's favourite's a Peugeot RCZ.
Mrs. M&M has pulled 2 seconds back from AR. She's now at 9 seconds behind second place.
Yeah, still lapping.
Gaining some time back, yeah.
Still lapping in the 41s. We'll see what she does.
Really consistent. 41.1, 41.2, 41.5. She had a good lap of 140.6. So she's also very consistent.
Shot, yeah.
I know she's murdering those tires, yeah.
This lap round she's into the 43s, 4 seconds off her fastest lap.
But I have to say, the laps in general for the state of those tires is quite consistent most of the laps.
Definitely. I see Mrs. Finnick dropped into the 41s last time around. M&M matching her. Margot's still in the 42s, which she's done a large amount of the race. Last time around 43. It's just going to bring it home. I'm not too sure. We'd have to ask her after the race. Another watching on my screen Mrs. Finnick Annelies coming over the line to take a dominant win. Current gap about 20.5 seconds. AR Outlaws Annika coming through the last turn. I see Mrs. M&M's got the gap down to 8.4, 8.7. Her strategy possibly could have worked out quite well for her with the longest first stint, but here she gets the third over the line, 8.3 behind, and then Margot coming through the last corner in the McLaren, also with limited practice in the car, Almost.
She lost it almost at the end.
Giving it the...
Finishing in style.
Yeah, that's always
There you go.
fun to watch when but touching the dirt makes it a bit dangerous. And unfortunately we had Ronaldo who started and got disconnected on the second lap. Awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, Mr.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mrs. Vinnig was in a league of her own tonight. AR Outlaw held on there, but I think the Beamer was a bit aggressive on those front tires, which actually held her back quite a bit. But she kept there in second place. Good drive from her. And
I think save of the day must go to Margot for that huge slide into the quadruple right-hander early on. I still don't know how she's managed not to face the wrong direction.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually second lap, I think it was. We just slammed the wall. But
we got some
good drive from all the ladies.
And we got some more congratulations from Henny Bezadenote in the comments for Mrs. Vinnig. I think all that's left to say is that everyone must get their wives to come and join these flying ladies next time around. Agree there. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Track Art, TGN Racing Simulators for sponsoring. My co-hosts here, Fluffy Butt, Mr. Stain, and RTA Stiganator, Alan, and then our guest star Deerbolt, Mr. Vinnig, Blitz Vinnig.
Yeah, at this point it would just be great if we can see more participation from the ladies like we had when this started. It would be nice.
Well, I'm gonna push my wife to get going. See if I can get her to commit to the next race.
The next 7 races.
Yeah, well, I promise you, if she gets into the first one, the bug's gonna bite. So don't. She obviously employs me to do the training, so we have to get into that this week. But hopefully I can get her hooked on this as well, which would be awesome. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks everyone.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks. Ladies, congratulations. You're all top notch. Great racing. And yeah, congratulations to Mrs. Vinnig. Dominant performance. Thank you guys. Have a good evening. I'm going to keep the lobby open for another minute just in case they want to save the replay or so, and then I'll close the lobby.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks
guys.
Bye.